Hello everyone, welcome back to We Know What You Like. This is episode 6 of Book Talk with book 6 of the Bridgerton series. This one is called When He Was Wicked by, of course, Julia Quinn.
Man, was he wicked.
Man, was he wicked. They were both wicked.
They were.
They were spicy.
I have to say, I definitely, my brain puts the word wicked to, mean.
Okay.
Which is not what it means in these.
No. It was like a pieces, like pieces of cream. They were wicked. Well, to me, wicked. One part of my mind goes wicked, like the Wicked Witch of the East, West, whatever hell.
I mean, there was one for both. Yeah.
Whatever side that was, direction, I don't remember. Clearly, I loved those movies.
Clearly.
My brother loved that movie growing up, and so of course, being the youngest, he got what he wanted, so my parents would put that on all the time.
Weird. That's what it was like for me, except with the Cars movie. And now I can never watch that again.
I can't watch that movie. I get shivers just thinking about it. Same with Sound of Music. He also would love to watch that one too.
What kind of taste does your brother have?
I don't fucking know. I don't even know. He lives in Texas. I haven't talked to him in a while. I don't know. Regardless, that's what immediately came to mind. Now, going into this for me as a rewatch, I was like, I remember really liking this book.
Right, yeah.
And I was like, ooh, this is gonna be fun. Now, with your experience, because in the previous book with the epilogue, we learned that, or in following this book,
in multiple books before this,
we learned that Francesca is widowed.
Yeah.
And what were your expectations coming into this particular book?
I was expecting this book to tell the story of how she met her husband, John, and how he died. Mm-hmm. I was not expecting it to be about what happened after he died.
Yeah.
So it threw me for a loop. I was very surprised when he died in the first chapter.
Yeah. Those naps. Don't go to sleep with a headache. Don't go to sleep with a headache. You might die of a brain aneurysm, which of course during the 1800s, what was it, 1820s or something like that, they don't know, of course, what a brain aneurysm is. Right. They just know that it's a headache that he died of. Yeah. But that actually really sucks. Thinking of it from all of these perspectives, she was 22, 23 when he died, so still very young. He was young himself, not that much older than her. And then you had Michael, Michael, the brother, cousin, but raised as a brother to John. And they're all very much this close-niche group of friends. Yeah. And the sad fact of the matter is that the only two people who took it the hardest was Michael and Francesca, and it was hard for him or for them to be there for each other. Yeah, because the whole thing, right? The love triangle. Michael's in love with her from the moment he sees her, which in a way kind of reminded me of Benedict and what's her name again? Is that one Sophie? Yes, Sophie, because for them too it was also an instant connection. Right. But I think for this one it was an instant love, but not on her part. No, she was just this is a good friend of mine. Yeah, which I think made it even better because again it was a growing to love thing, which very much similar to Colin and Penelope. Right. It wasn't the instant thing. Yeah, but it grows to love. There was a lot of guilt involved, which is why Michael felt he couldn't go console Francesca because he felt like he had wished for John to die. To get all of his good graces, good bearings that he got from being the next... he became the Earl and got all the money. The land, the tenants, and this and that. And suddenly Francesca was available. One of the parts that, in the beginning of the book, that kind of hit me, because we do find out that Francesca is pregnant, she tells Michael, you're going to have to be the father of this baby. Right. And, obviously, she doesn't know how he feels. But because we know how Michael feels, that's kind of crushing. Yeah, it kind of pushes him over the edge too. It really does. It makes him, that's the thing, that catalyst that makes him leave for, 5 years? Yeah. And then there's a part where Francesca says, in her POV, which is that she wanted to hurt him a little bit, like Michael's feelings, because she knew she could.
Yeah.
And that's powerful in itself.
A little bit, yeah.
But that's just like slightly off topic. But I'm just remembering the actions or points in this story, so that's what I said it basically. Right. But it was it was sad. Imagine, you finding your husband dead.
Yeah.
Very much similar to the kids finding their fathers dead.
There's so much death in these books.
There really is. I get it. That's the course of life.
Right.
Trauma, living, dying, and like even the baby died even before it was born.
Yeah.
Like even the baby died.
It is a new topic that this touched on was miscarriage.
Yes, it was.
And fertility issues. Because it isn't until very long later that they finally have a kid.
So about 4 or 5 years into their marriage is when they finally have a child, which they named John. And then, cute. 9 months later, they have another child.
Yeah.
So read your second epilogues, people, if you haven't.
They're worth it.
They are worth it. Let's see, what else happened? The thing that I really find funny in this series is that for both Anthony and Simon, even Colin, they say that they're not exactly loose with women, but they have a way with women. That, they're like, ooh,
They call them all rakes.
Yeah, like they're just like known rakes, so they have a lot of women at their side and stuff like that. But I never really thought so. Like I felt like from the season 1 of actual Bridgerton show made Simon to be more of a rake than he actually was in the book.
Yeah.
Considering he slept with that one woman in the show. But it wasn't until this book,
which is the woman that Michael sleeps with in this show.
Yeah. But it wasn't until this book that I was like, okay, you actually have a rake.
Yeah, like he actually was loose with women.
Yeah.
The rest of them were just flirtatious with women.
Yeah. Like they even said Colin had a way with women, but I'm like, I wouldn't even say that. He was just a...
And it's never really like confirmed that any of them really have sex with a lot of women.
Yeah.
I imagine that Colin didn't have sex with anyone before Penelope, but that's just because I love him.
But because of this, you would expect that their sex scenes would be even more spicier than the rest of the series and the books. And I personally thought they were.
Yeah, they were very... You get a lot more detail in these ones.
Ride it, my pony. And, maybe it's because she's been married before. She's not like the virgin that a lot of the women were and the other... Like, all of the women were either prior to marriage or after marriage.
It's true, yeah. She's not in the dark with Violet's poor sex talk.
But she took ownership in the relationship, the sexual relationship. And I was like... Yes. The first time I think was in the library on the desk, and then they moved to I think they started on the desk and then moved to the carpet, I think. It could be totally wrong. But I was like, God damn. Hallelujah. It was good. But I really glad that they changed it up in that format, in that you don't have the same old sex talk,
Right.
of not actually having a sex talk, of women becoming more of their own. I appreciate that. Anything interesting in your flip through?
Not really. I saw Lady Danbury's name and I was like, we should talk about her, but then I remembered the thoughts I was having was about the next book and not this book.
Oh, okay. I still haven't started the next book. Let's see, what else happened?
I did like the arc of Michael learning that it's not his fault that John died and that he does deserve to be happy.
Yeah. And that's the thing that is one of the most important things to realize is that... Pause. I'm going to unpause after you eat your food.
Do you want me to stop the recording?
No, it's not. Okay. We just make really long videos and then Lucia gets to edit them later.
It's true.
Alright, you ready?
No, one second. It's like, do you realize how long those producer reactions were?
I can only imagine because the episodes were like 40 minutes.
The that one episode where we had to pause for you, start again, pause for Katie. And then I don't remember if it was the same episode, but I think it was the same sitting, but we paused where the camera kept rolling for the fucking food. Unpause. Well, we're back again with food. I don't know if you can see it, but Katie's got French fries because we need nutrients.
Well, I don't know if I'd call this nutritious, but
it feeds your belly.
It'll make my stomach stop complaining.
So it's feeding your stomach, at the very least. What were you talking about?
I don't remember, but I just came across this page when Francesca left for Kilmartin because she kissed him.
Oh yeah, she went right back.
She ran away.
Yeah, she did.
And the only reason she comes back is because Colin's getting married.
I love that conversation.
And he goes to tell her that he's getting married, and then she doesn't even come, like they don't even come to the wedding. They stay over there.
To have sex. Again. I loved that conversation between Colin and
yeah, those fun conversations where Colin's just like, do it. Just do it.
He's like, yeah, I'm getting married. Oh, I didn't realize you were seeing someone. Yeah, I proposed. The first time she said no, she even fell at my feet. Of course, made me think of their book, and I was like, yes. Which, of course, readers, we know that this book, although it's number 6, is actually placed in between Penelope and Eloise's books, respectively, even though it came after Eloise's book, publicly. Say a hi to
thing where he's just like
hand in the corner. Yeah, she did run away, and he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna do this," and they did the deed.
They did the deed, and they stayed there for a while. Didn't they just get married?
Yeah, they did over there.
Like they didn't tell anybody; they just did it.
I think so. When did we finish this book?
It's been at least 2 weeks.
I remember like very highlighted moments that are like, yes, I remember. But some details, man, Lucia, maybe you shouldn't read fucking fast.
Let's see what our texts to each other say.
Oh yes, what do your notes say too?
My notes just say I really liked this book. Forbidden love was a nice touch. Grief and forgiving oneself process. Good sex scenes.
What?
I'm telling you, this book had the best sex scenes, in my opinion, personally. Second, maybe... What the second best sex scene?
Let's see. These sex scenes are spicy. You said that's why it's my fave. And then I said it's a good thing that I'm not reading it at work, and you told me to read it at work.
I mean, the chick at work today was reading it at work.
Good for her. And then after I finished it, I said it was sad because they didn't have Hyacinth's book. I finished this on the 7th of August, by the way.
I think I finished it the next day.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I said I enjoyed it very much. And the only sad part was really John dying in the beginning.
But going back to your topic of forgiving yourself, that itself is, I think, the most important thing in this theme of it all, of this particular book. And also realizing that you can have a second love. Because for Francesca, she was like, I already had my great love. Anything else or anyone else that she might want, because it started off with her wanting to have a baby.
That's right. And she decided to get remarried.
Yeah.
Not with the purpose of love, but with the purpose of having children.
Yeah, because she's like, I might never love the person I'm gonna marry again, but I want a baby, therefore I'm gonna do this.
Right.
And then of course Michael finally comes home.
Right. They run into each other in London.
Yeah. She won't be here. He won't be here. Or she didn't even know he was coming. Yeah. But that's fine. And like, whoop. Serendipity says like
LOL, JK.
Now kiss. You know, like when you're younger, you make your Barbie dolls kiss. that's what we wanted them to do. And they eventually did. They did. I liked that Francesca was actually much different than the rest of her siblings.
Yeah, she is just Very different.
Because like all throughout the books and even the show, we're like, who is this person?
Yeah, you don't hear a lot about her. You don't see her.
She's like, in this one part because she married so young.
Yeah.
And so she was literally in Scotland while everyone else was in London or like in England, you know, wherever they were, depending on the season, as in city-wise. But she was very much her own person. I'm glad they actually acknowledge this in the book. Mm-hmm. They're like, yeah, you love your family, Francesca. Like, they were talking to her and her mother. Mm-hmm. Again, Violet.
That whole conversation they have in the second epilogue is literally the sweetest thing.
Yes. Violet, don't ever give sex talks again, or at least when you do better. But Violet, otherwise, such a great mother.
Honestly, yeah.
Honestly, like, mother in Texas, do better. Happy early birthday, Mom.
Call out your mom like that, damn.
It's next week. Happy early birthday. Well, this is being filmed. Anywho, yeah, I just...
Hey. No, it's okay.
Anywho, yeah, so she decides to get married, and they were gonna help each other. Like, yeah, I'll tell you a list of guys that are approachable and good, and then she's like, yeah, I'll feed off of the women, right? Because you're gonna be like the cream of the crop to people. And then she realizes that he's sick.
Yeah. Wow, we just didn't even talk about that, huh?
We're just like, yeah, sex scenes.
Priorities.
Get them straight, people. Get them straight. Yeah, she realizes that he's sick because he didn't go to the dinner that Violet was hosting when he said he was going to go. So Francesca goes back to the house and she's like, what's wrong with you? He's like, oh, nothing. And just, a whole bout of, that old malaria.
That old malaria.
That old malaria, which, if you read the, from the author notes, you learn that, you actually learn about a whole things, which I personally didn't know about malaria.
Yeah, same.
There's 3 types, and fortunately for Michael, his is just the type that, fucks up his system when he's sick. So just very random sick episodes. Not the kind that, kill you.
Right.
Good old Michael. And we learned that malaria is derived from mosquitoes, which isn't really a big thing anymore in developed countries because there's a control on the mosquitoes. Although you go to Texas sometimes and you're like, God damn, them bitches are big.
Yeah.
Or like Florida. I've never been to Florida, but I'm sure they're big there. It just seems like a place that have big ass mosquitoes.
I see it. I was trying to find the...
Yeah, so this whole
it's this here.
So we learned about malaria.
Yeah.
And then we learned about the whole brain aneurysms at the time. Doctors wouldn't have even thought of doing a autopsy. Of course, they didn't have the right methods of learning what was up with an autopsy, but just he fell asleep and died of a headache. Isn't that some shit though? It's very similar to like with the bee thing.
Yeah, they don't understand that he was allergic to the bee.
But it's just some bird thing.
Yeah.
Like imagine living in the 1800s and just being like, the fuck?
Just imagine.
I mean, we can't go back in the past, so just imagine living back there and knowing, like, yeah, he was a big, burly, brisk of a man. He died of a fucking bee sting. Yeah, he went to sleep because he had a headache, and then he died. What? What? I'd be confused. Anywho, going back to the original topic of forgiveness, I think that's what this story is about. Forgiving yourself and realizing that it's okay to move on.
Yeah.
And happiness doesn't come from just one person, because that's like another important thing. Francesca learning again that I mentioned it earlier, that she's able to love again, but loving people in different ways is also important.
Right.
And there was also the guilt on Francesca's part, because she's like, yes, what I had with John was a very easy love, but what I have with Michael is very consuming and needy and raw and wicked.
Yeah.
You get that? You get that? Wicked.
Yeah. Overall, very different.
Yes. It was a very easy read.
And very easy. I read it very fast.
Same. And it's like I originally, because I read it on my phone, like online, so I didn't have the paperback version, so I didn't know how many pages there were or what, but you had told me that it was shorter. But then looking at it now, paperback form, I'm like, it's not that much shorter than the others. But I think that just gives proof that it was just an enjoyable read.
Mm-hmm.
And, good on you, good on the book.
Would recommend.
Did you have a favorite part?
I think it was those interactions that Michael had with Colin.
Because once again, Colin is the best.
There's no, that's it. That's just all there is.
Once again, Colin is just improving once again. Not his book. It's okay. Colin here to save the day.
It's fine. He's my favorite part every time.
Oh, we just did a bar. Oh,
beautiful.
Shit. And then, what do you think of? Well, there's 2 epilogues. The first one was more of a letter than an actual epilogue, and it was a letter to Michael from John's mother. And I swear to God, I'm saying this on camera, and I remember telling Katie, in my head, for years, because I read this series a long time ago, for years, I thought that letter was from John to Michael, not John's mother to Michael. In my head, for years, it was like, thank you for letting me love her first. And because of that, it had an impact of how I remembered the book. So I was like, that made me love it even more. Yes, I jokingly said that the sex scenes made it the best. That didn't hurt. But because I had that miscued in my head, they rose in elevation for years. Now, with the reread, and it was actually John's mother writing that to Michael, it's still
a touching moment.
It's still very touching. But I was like, man, memory, you really you really screwed me up there. But I still enjoyed it though.
Yeah.
And then we had the second epilogue of Francesca wanting a baby, because of course we know that she unfortunately had a miscarriage with John's baby, and she and Michael had been trying, and at first Michael was like, I don't necessarily want a baby, but because she wants a baby, I want the baby for her. And that's how it all started, right? She wanted a baby, and that's how it ended. So I think that's actually great. Was it, good on Julia Quinn once again for doing the epilogues, because it makes more of a sense. Yes, we do get spoiled a bit about who, Hyacinth has a child.
Yeah.
But we don't know the story.
It's true. Which that's happened a lot in these second epilogues. Like, you get little bits and pieces of the future books.
Yeah.
But I've still been surprised every time.
Same with Gregory. We learn the name of the person he is going to marry. Don't know who she is. For your sake, I'm saying that.
Right.
And I also don't really remember his book. Or Hyacinth's. So there's that. But then we also learn that over time, he wants a baby for himself because he thinks that he would be a good father too. And I'm like, yo, what is this? What do we call it? Full circle.
Right.
I love it.
My favorite part is that they just don't tell anybody that they have a baby either.
Yeah.
They just show up one day and they're like, hey, gotcha this.
And then we have Violet's like, yeah, I'm just going to hold the baby.
Right. And she's like, I'm never letting him go.
I love the part where in the second epilogue, Violet's like, this is the longest I haven't seen one of my children. And I think it was Sophie,
Yeah.
Where she's like, what about Colin when he was away?
Yeah.
She's like, that was not a full year. I counted. It's like, there's not much else for a mother to do. And I'm like, yeah, yes. But once again, in the epilogue, freaking Eloise says her daughter's name is Penelope. We said it in the reaction when it happened, and every time a freaking pain to the heart. Yes, I know this is taking away moments that we could be talking about Francesca and Michael, but Penelope, the daughter of Eloise.
I love that.
Yes.
So much.
Hallelujah.
What did they name their daughter, or did they not tell us?
Which one? Oh, Francesca. It started with a letter. Because he had.
It started with a letter. Thank you.
The first one was John.
Yeah.
And the second one was another name, but it's in there. It's like the last line or whatever. Over here.
Oh, Janet, Helen. So after their moms, John and Michael.
Completely forgot their names.
It's fine. They were minute characters.
Yes.
Alrighty.
I do like the fact that the families on John, Michael's sides, didn't hate the fact that Francesca was with Michael.
Yeah, they were very understanding of it.
Yeah. Or like when John died, like all the moms came into town. Yeah. I love that. It's like, yes, support system. And how do you feel about John running away? Not John. Sorry, he was dead. It sounded rude. Michael running away.
I can understand why he did it.
Yeah, same. I think it was better off though for him to do that. He had some growing up to do.
I think it allowed him the space to grow like he needed to.
Yeah, and obviously it made him into contact with, that good old disease.
Right.
But he had the safe kind.
The safe kind.
Not the death kind, LOL is. But also allowed Francesca to grow on her own as well. Because, what's his name? Michael says, if I had known that the estate was plummeting or if it was in bad array, I would come home. But you did such a well job, so I thought it was good. And I was like, you're right. You're right. Very good. Anything else you want to talk about?
I don't think so.
I think we're good too.
10 out of 10. Would read again.
Anything else, Lucia? Anything else?
But stop waiting 2 weeks to review books.
Let's have you say that like you're not going to go.
I know. I'm not going to be gone in the next 4 weeks.
In any case, we're almost done with the series. She has already started Hyacint's book. I have not. I will eventually. Yay.
Good luck finding it.
I can always read it online.
That's very true.
So I'm not the one who likes to collect the books with the same.
Damn me with my shelf of trophies.
Maybe I'll take the camera and show you all over. Like, look at this. Right. Anywho, that was when whoa. When she would tell him, "Tell me something wicked." Spicy.
Very spicy.
And then, wait. When he was seducing her the first time, quote unquote, but she was letting it happen, he's like, remember when you would ask me to tell you something wicked, and I wouldn't really tell you, but you really wanted me to? Well, I'm gonna tell you now. And I was like, hot damn!
I'm gonna actually be wicked.
I was like, yes, sir. Yes. And now I'm done.
Thank you for joining us.
This was Lucia.
And Katie.
With speaking we know what you like.
Featuring Bridgerton, book number 6.
When he was wicked. Sometimes I swear I don't know how to fucking talk.
Neither do I. Thanks for coming.
Bye.